Arcade Fire, album review, let's chat about it. Hey guys, what's going on? John here from What's Spinning, here tonight to chat about the Arcade Fire, their new album, their long-awaited new album. These guys are Canadian indie rock icons, legends, one of the most energetic and impeccable live acts of this generation. I feel like I don't even need to say much. By now you know who the hell we are dealing with here. Between the very majestic and genre... Watch that. Between the very cinematic and genre-defining Funeral, my all-time favorite album of theirs, one of my favorite albums of any genre of all time, Neon Bible, even The Suburbs, which initially I was very lukewarm on, has grown on me so much. These are albums that if you've listened to indie or even alternative rock in the last 20 years, you know what to expect. Oh, and by the way, they also released Reflector too, which is a really classy, experimental dive into art rock and post-punk, and while it may not be for everybody, man, I thought it was special still. I thought it was really, above, the mark of where it should be. For many years, the Arcade Fire were the, beginning, start, and finish of modern indie. Oh, God. But, do we even have to talk about everything now? I'd rather not. I mean, the title track is fantastic. Creature Comfort is pretty great, too. But outside of that, Arcade Fire very quickly, very succinctly went from being forerunners for, a band that you could count on with each and every release to a band that sounded lost and trying to keep up. Now, this has been one of the most highly anticipated albums of the year of any genre, and I thought the singles leading up to it were pretty okay. I actually liked them quite a bit. But what we see here on this album is two different sides of the Arcade Fire. The side that bounces back in a big way and starts putting out really great material again, makes big statements even, but also kind of overloads it. The album starts off with Age of Anxiety Part 1. I mean, not for nothing, this is a pretty fantastic, very dramatic start. I mean, Win Butler on this track sounds like a damn prophet at times. Compare this to how incoherent he sounded on Everything Now half the time, and you're in for a treat. The instrumental is very subtle, but it's very well paced. It builds wonderfully. It's a very telling start. And when that beat that pops in eventually does pop in, it just is the right amount of a shift to kind of, mix things up, to make things not monotonous. I really think this works as an intro. End of an Empire parts 1 through 3 is really ambitious as well. It is packed with incredibly emotional performances and real gut-punching lyrics. It's a very well-paced track, too. It reminds me of a lot of the art rock that I grew up with. Now, a lot of the tracks on here, this is only 10 tracks, but it spans 40 minutes, so a lot of these tracks, they're big boys. But it really works very well. The Arcade Fire do a really good job of pacing them out, letting them build, letting them breathe, and really bringing the drama back into their music. And I can't help but get caught up emotionally every time this chorus rolls around. It really works really well, and it ends up becoming a damn anthem. But then there's the other side to the start of this album with Age of Anxiety 2, Rabbit Hole. Here, the Arcade Fire take every good idea on the first part and just stretch it out way too far. Like Age of Anxiety 1 starts this album off on such a great note. Then this track comes along and it just becomes so overblown. It meanders along really slowly and doesn't hit nearly as hard. Lyrically, it also just could not be farther away from part 1. Not only that, but sounds like they're trying so much harder here. Did I mention this track is 7 minutes long? And because End of an Empire parts 1 through 3 wasn't enough, we get a part 4, Sagittarius A, and it is also really tough to get to. Arcade Fire just have these huge ideas that you just don't really know when to say, okay, that's enough. Even though this track has clearly stated its course, things go from actually, really well thought out, very bold ideas to kind of indie bullshit really quickly. I don't want to be too hard on this album because I think they did still bounce back in a big way after Everything Now, but still, it's a mixed bag. The Lightning one is good, though. I've enjoyed it since it dropped as a single. I feel like this is a real happening. There's just so much drama here. This reminds me of what I loved about the Arcade Fire in their early days. The pacing, the intensity, the heart on display, it's all here and it's glorious. And personally, I needed the Lightning Part 2. I needed a sort of upbeat, raucous rocker right now. Between the spirited riff, the emotional vocals on display, the amount of heart in this. And if I'm being honest, the chorus, it's not their biggest or boldest statement here. But this has so much to enjoy and eat up. The sheer energy alone of this track. Then we have Unconditional One, Look Out Kid, which I've heard some mixed reviews on. Personally, I love it. I love some of the lyrics on this track. It just makes me feel like, I don't know, like I'm at home and warm and cozy. And when these strings pop in for the chorus, I'm just taken right back to the good old days, man. I enjoy this track quite a bit. I really like Unconditional 2, Race and Religion, even more. This is the sort of risk I wish we heard some more of here. Not for nothing, this might be the best track on the album. It's got sharp nods to both art rock and some new wave, even some new disco once again. Not only that, but the sheer amount of passion here. This is one of the most passionate tracks here. Oh, and Peter Gabriel's on this track too, and his contributions sound fantastic. But to be honest, I kind of wish that this is the finale that we got. Because we get We as a finale here, and it's just fine. I mean, lyrically, I certainly get it. I mean, their heart's in the right place. It's certainly poignant, very current. But did everything just have to be so freaking boring? God, I don't know. This new album from the Arcade Fire is very tough because in a lot of ways, they bounced back with some of their boldest statements, some of their best songwriting, and just great performances. In a while, they take things back to their roots, but in the best way imaginable. The only problem is I don't think that they've, at this point in their career, know when to stop those ideas from becoming a little bloated, a little bit too much, and pressing the off switch. But still, I'm happy enough that they've bounced back, at least to some extent. So for now, I'm feeling like the lightest 7 ever, but let me know what you guys think down below. If you liked the video, be sure to give us a like, give us a subscribe, and let me know down below what you would like for me to chat about in the future. And until next time, have a great day, guys.